Some breaking news here on the Ohio State Football Report. Cincere Johnson has indeed committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes. He made that announcement moments ago as he commits to OSU. We'll break this down, where the recruiting class sits overall, and the latest on Luke Wafle, which is getting even more dicey than what it was previously. Before that, let's welcome Cincere Johnson to the Buckeyes. Everyone spam CJ in the comment section of today's show. This isn't overly surprising. It's kind of been the guest expectation for the Buckeyes for Johnson for several weeks now. His final three schools in the end, Alabama, Ohio State, and Penn State. In the end, Johnson elects to stick home, so to speak, and stay in the state of Ohio. In the 24/7 Sports composite rankings, he's listed as an edge. It sounds like he's going to be more of an off-ball linebacker. For the Buckeyes, there's some flexibility there in the front seven. 71st overall player, the number 2 ranked player in the state. I think landing Johnson, who again was the number 2 ranked player in the state of Ohio, is a needed get. It's a big get for Ryan Day and company. You're Ohio State. With very few exceptions, are you ever supposed to lose the top players in state? Now, maybe there are some years where it's not as good, or there happen to be like 2 quarterbacks with the top. You're probably not going to get both. This is the type of player you should land. Top defense player, or one of the top defense players, come on, go get them. Of note, this also takes Ohio State to number 2 in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. These are the top 10 schools. USC, who we'll come back to here in a little bit later on with the Luke Wafle stuff, is number 1. The Buckeyes now jump up to number 2 ahead of Georgia, Notre Dame, A&M, Clemson, Penn State, Miami, LSU, and a surprising Illinois is number 10 for now. I think volume of recruits playing a bigger role in that element there. The Buckeyes, as this class currently sits, and we'll go more in depth on all of them here, 16 commits, 2 5-stars, 12 4-stars. They're number 2 overall, and the number 1 ranked Big Ten team as well. So predictions, where will Ohio State end up finishing in the 2026 recruiting rankings? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Let's break down the 16 commits then, and we'll go kind of by position where we're able to do so, because it's not always as easy on that front. Bunch of different receivers currently committed to Ohio State. There's Chris Henry Jr., who is, I think, confusingly has slid a little bit. Like, just 24/7 Sports doesn't have him as a 5-star anymore. The composite has him as a 5-star. He's the number 3 ranked receiver out of California. Caden Dixon Wyatt, his teammate, by the way, 108 overall, 4-star receiver, along with Jaden Ricketts, an additional 4-star wide receiver out of Ohio, number 11th ranked player, by the way, in the state. Brock Boyd out of Texas, who is 380 overall, has seen his stuff kind of rise since he committed to Ohio State. He is committed. 3 different offensive linemen. I think the Buckeyes would like to find a way to add a 4th. We'll see if they'll be able to. Out of Akron, Ohio, Sam Greer is the number 4 ranked player in the state. From Avon, Maxwell Riley is the number 6th ranked player in the state. So again, getting some of the top in-state commits to go to Ohio State. And then one of the lower-ranked players, in fact, actually the lowest-ranked player in the class so far, Tucker Smith out of Arizona, is a top 10 player in the state of Arizona. Defensively, some defensive back commits here. Blaine Bradford out of Louisiana, out of Baton Rouge, no less. And, hey, sometimes kids just don't want to go to college from in the same city. They want to go somewhere else. They want to get some more life experience. Bradford in LSU's literal backyard, the number 2 ranked player in the state, by the way, up to Ohio State. Simeon Caldwell out of Florida, Jacksonville to be specific, number 13th ranked player in that state. He is now listed as a safety on the composite. There's been some safety linebacker conversations there, I know. Jacob Weatherspoon, also out of Avon. Different high school. It was Avon Lake versus, I guess, what is Avon Lake versus Avon, but close enough. Weatherspoon's 15th among corners, 173 overall. Jordan Thomas, this is an athlete on the 24/7 Sports composite, but corner is the expectation here. Out of New Jersey, number 2 ranked player, by the way, in the state. And then kind of just like the other 5 that don't kind of fit the same multiple position groups and make it a bit easier on ourselves here. Cincere Johnson, now committed to Ohio State, number 71 overall. Favor Akee was one of the recent commits, the running back out of Ohio as well. So again, a bunch of the top in-state players sticking around. Buckeyes now have got Number 2, they've got number 4, number 6, number 8, number 9, number 11. That's Ricketts in the state of Ohio. CJ Santa, by the way, is number 13 in the state, inside that top 300. Corey Wilder out of California was a big edge get for the Buckeyes because you might not be getting the next guy you're targeting. More on that in a little bit. And then the second 3-star, Corbin Fordham, out of Florida as well, number 68 overall in the state, 476 on that front. You can get the Ohio State pennant available on sale, on clearance, actually, 58.5% off at chatsports.com/OSU flag. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/OSU flag. The clickable link over there in the corner as well. I know it's flag, but it's a pennant, and you can hang it up on your man cave or something. Links available at chatsports.com/OSU flag. We're going to go back to waffling here, and that is on Luke Wafle. Steve Wiltfong over on 3 has flipped his prediction. He did the Fong bomb doesn't really hit for me. It's not the same as the Woj bomb or the Shams. It's just not the same. But he is now flipping back to USC in his official prediction after he had picked Ohio State yesterday. He'll be committing, depending on when you're watching this, maybe he already has, but he'll be committing later this afternoon per the On 3 reports there. And sounds like snip, snap, we're back with USC being the favored prediction there. We'll go into what Wilfong had to say and just where things sit. Will Ohio State, though, end up landing Luke Wafle, or will there be another waffling? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's show. This is what Wiltfong wrote. This has been a back and forth between USC and Ohio State. I like the Trojans coming out of the official visit over the weekend. Then I like the Buckeyes by Wednesday morning. The Trojans battled back early Wednesday evening. Both programs over the last 48 hours upped their NIL packages, and as reported yesterday, sources indicate Wafle is tracking to be the next prospect to have a deal of at least $1 million per year. We're hearing a now 2-year deal worth between $2.2 and $2.6 million is the range. A spring visit to Ohio State and then a summer official visit checked a lot of boxes for Wafle from a developmental standpoint and culture standpoint. Whatever the NIL promise was, USC trumped it this past weekend. Ohio State then trumped that NIL offer. Now USC is in control again for what has become a bidding war for one of America's best. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes will keep touch throughout the day, so we'll see what happens. That's where we sit with Luke Wafle, who is the number 1 ranked player in the state of New Jersey. He is an edge rusher. And you got to figure the Buckeyes would like to find a way to land him. That is a key element for them. They have missed on some of these guys over the years of being the runner-up for one of the top-ranked edges and not being able to land them. It'd be disappointing if that happened again. But that NIL package is quite hefty overall. He's had visits with Florida, Ohio State, Penn State, USC. He was supposed to visit Texas this weekend. Kind of feel like that's not going to happen if he's going to make his commitment in like an hour as of filming this. A little bit more than an hour, but still. So we'll see what happens. But after optimism yesterday, that's gone away in like a span of 12 hours. We are losing, by the way, the sub-battle this month against the Alabama Football Report. Let's catch them. Get more videos here on the Ohio State football team and more. Hit that sub button. Please and thank you if you haven't already done so.